So now it's sat overnight, so I'm going to go ahead and take these clamps off. Didn't have that one on very tight, did I? And see how everything looks. Looks like everything's where it's supposed to be. I noticed I did get off my mark a little bit. I need that over a little bit, but it's not going to matter. So now I got to trim this edge off to make it even with this. And I have to do that with the router table, or a hand router. Then I can clean up all these sanding. So now I have cut the edges off. It looks a little closer now. I'm still going to be doing some sanding here on the edges because I didn't want to get too close and cut this up too much. And now here I've got a line cut, and I'm going to take one of those round drums on the drum sander that you've seen earlier. Or actually I'll just take the camera out there and do it in front of it. But I'm going to make this round instead of square right here. Kind of make it shaped like sloping up like this. I do have that one gouge that broke out right there, but it is what it is, I guess. I could fill it with wood filler or something, and do a little thinning on this. It's still a little bit thick. I'm going to have to shave some off. But now starts the handwork, a lot of sanding, and I'm not going to film that because that's very boring and you would hate it as much as I like doing it. So I'll be back when there's time to install the frets or something like that. Probably when I install the frets. Okay, everything's ready to be hand sanded except for I do not like this chunk that's taken out of here. It just bugs me. So before I do all my rest of my sanding stuff, I got a little piece of wood here I kind of got where I can stick it in there. It's going to have some little gaps, but I'll put it a little bigger. And this way I can glue that in there and then sand it down, and at least there'll be something there besides that big chunk of wood missing. It will make it look a little better anyway. So I'm just going to glue this in here, let that dry for a couple or 3 hours probably. Then I'll sand it to look even with the rest of it. You know, I'll just take a sander and sand it down. And then start all my hand sanding. So I went on Facebook last night and got did a poll on what color this should be. I picked from red, yellow, blue, had brown and black, but wasn't enthused with those. And it became a three-way tie: red, blue, yellow. So I ended up asking my girlfriend. She said red, so we're going with red. So I got the red aniline dye mixed with water. I got the fretboard taped off because I don't want to dye it. I just want to dye the maple part of it. So I'm going to go through and give it one real quick coat of color, whatever you want to call it here. And go do some work and come back and do another coat. give a couple or 3 hours between each one, and each one I do will be a little darker, and hopefully it won't come out pink, because a lot of times with this red in this dye it looks pink. Now I couldn't tell you that, but the project me and my daughter did, Olivia, with Red Hot Rosie, it was pink until I added a clear coat on top of it with a little bit of red mixed in, which actually turned it red. So just take this and pretty much rub it in. You don't want to have any spots where it kind of overlaps or makes runs or anything like that, looks like. This is not the right rag for this, but it's going to have to do. Let's just do this right here. And I do use rubber gloves with this because this stuff, it takes a long time if you get it on your fingers or skin to come off. It'll dye you. See, it's looking a little, to me it just looked wet at first, but it's looking a little bit red. I just want to go long strokes like on the paintbrush so I don't end up with drip spots or anything like that on it. And the way I like to do this, it still shows the wood grain through it. And that stuff there I don't think is going to... I had to use some wood filler in a spot there, and this is not going to work on the wood filler. It was supposed to. So the wood filler bottle lied to me, or can, because it said it would accept any stain. Well, it's not. Which is a bummer, as you can see right there, it did not accept the stain. I might try to sand that off and restain that spot. I don't want to get this on my fingers, but I'm going to here where it's a little wet and I'm having to use it with the hand without the glove in it. And on the edges I don't want like run spots like there. I can go over it a little bit with sandpaper, sand it down and go over it again. That's how I used it on a burst guitar I did. Worked pretty good for a burst actually. If it hadn't been for the glue and the darn guitar causing problems. Because it will not cover certain glues. Any glue will cause a dye or a stain not to work right. So there, I can lay it like that. Everything can dry. Got a spot here I want to get cleaned up real quick. I mean, that's not going to be seen really, but I just like a uniform color. I'll get that part of the headstock again. And you can see it does bring out some of the wood grain. And if I sand it and go over again, it'll make it pop even more. You know, not sand it all out, just a light sanding. And I'm going to put this I gotta put this rag somewhere where it's not. I'll put it right there. And let that dry a few hours, a couple of 3 hours at least. I got some work to do outside. Get some of that taken care of, take a break, and come in here and do some more.